Hi, welcome to my channel, Not Your Average Weight Loss. I'm Karen, and that's my cat Zoe. She's making her introduction today. So thank you for joining. Appreciate your time. And if you're new here, thank you. I appreciate you tuning in on my video. And if you've been here before, welcome back. So let's dive right in. So I've taken some notes here, so that's what I'm looking at. So just to reiterate, I've lost over 50 pounds on a GLP-1 medication. I've been on compounded tirzepatide since probably April of 2025. And it's been the best decision that I've ever made. Besides having my son. And I'm 56 years old, mom of one. So it's not about the weight. It's, about a few things, right? Yes, I did lose over 50 pounds, but what actually changed? What made that change for me? What are things that are important for me? And that's what we're going to talk about. Not just the weight. The weight is very important, don't get me wrong, but there's other things too. So it's not just the number on the scale. That's actually the least interesting part about my journey. I'm not a doctor. This isn't medical advice. This is my journey and what I've been going through, and I want to share it with anybody that's starting a journey, in the middle of their journey, or wondering if they do want to start the journey. So here's what really changed for me. When I started, I thought this was about the weight, which it was. I mean, I'm not going to lie. It definitely was about the weight. I was over 50 pounds overweight. I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't have any energy. I wanted to be strong. I wanted to be healthy for my son, who's 17 years old. He's going to be 18 in May, So life changes, and with that change, that got me thinking that I needed to do something. I wasn't going to live my life the way I was living, which was unhealthy. So losing the weight changed my life in so many different ways. And I can share a few of them. So I mentioned before, I didn't feel like myself. I had no energy. So one of the things that changed for me in taking these GLP-1 medications is more energy, right? I feel awesome. I feel strong, energized. I have, I'm able to go through my day and not feel tired all the time. And of course, clothes. Clothing size, right? It's easier to find my size clothes anywhere as opposed to having to just go to certain stores and, having to choose what selection they have. So that's been really different. Mobility, that's another one. Before GLP-1, I had a little bit of aches and pains in my knee. One of my knee was worse than the other because I ran. I was a runner in my 30s and 40s, and it didn't do much good for me because it did, damage my knees. So, but, because this medication takes care of that inflammation, and that's another reason why I think I'm going to stay on this medication long term, is I don't have knee pain anymore. It's amazing. Better sleep. Wow, it's amazing. when you're healthy, so much healthier, it just amazes me as my sleep is so much better. And how I know, by the way, is this on my finger. It's called an Aura ring. I would highly recommend it. It tracks a bunch of things. I have a Apple Watch too that does track activities and things, but this is known to track sleep very accurately. And so far, it's been on the money. So it tells me when I go to bed. It tells me exactly how many hours I slept, how much REM sleep of that, of those hours were REM sleep. It's I love it. I love it. I would recommend it to anybody. Gaining muscle, being stronger. I know I talk about strength training all the time. So, and I will do a video. Like I said before, I hurt my tendon. And I just want to make sure it's okay before I continue my strength training. I've been lifting a little bit here and there, but not to the capacity that I used to. But I just wanted to show you guys. I mean, that's muscle. That I didn't have this muscle before, okay? And that's what strength training does. It you grow muscle. It's amazing. And protein, of course. Muscle, you need protein to grow your muscle. So anyway, back to what changes have come up here in my life. Health in general, as I mentioned. And for me, it's not only the protein, but it's the way I eat, I guess. So two part. I eat only whole foods. I do supplement sometimes with a protein shake or protein powder and a protein bar. So, those things I do supplement, but just because of how much I do strength train, I do need more protein in order to do a recomposition of my body and get the strength and the look that I want for my body. So this has regulated me in having 3 meals per day. Now, before this medication, I wasn't like that. I'd have 3 meals and sometimes 4 meals, and then I would snack, right? And that's what got me there in the first place, right? With the food noise. So that's how I gained all the weight. But now it's regimented. It's 3 meals a day. I make sure to get my, 30 to 50 grams of protein per meal. And if I need to substitute that, I'm going to substitute with a protein shake, like I said, or a protein bar. And that's okay for me. That works for me. So the other thing I want to mention too, what changed is I just you take a pause, right? Because losing 50 pounds wasn't fast. Yes, it was. I mean, I'm coming up on a year come April, right? It's right around the corner. But when you're on this medication and you're looking to lose weight and you're getting frustrated, it'll happen. Trust me, it'll happen. It's not a fast process, and you don't want to lose weight fast. You want your journey to be relaxed. You want your journey to take time, have your body adjust. We didn't gain all this weight in 7 months or 6 months, right? We gained it over a period of years, over time. So just be cognizant of that, and don't be in a rush. That would be my advice. Just let the process work. It does work. I'm proof. You'll get there. Trust me. I mean, there was weeks where I questioned everything. Like, is this gonna work? Oh my gosh, am I gonna gain the weight back? Things like that pops up in your head, and that's normal. So here are the things that made me realize that this medication actually was working. The food noise went away. I mean, that was my biggest thing. Like probably the fourth day I took the compounded tirzepatide, and my mind was clear. I wasn't thinking constantly about food or snacks like I mentioned before. It was a miracle. It was awesome. There's also going to be an emotional shift, just because, you're so used to being in that bigger body, and now you're in a smaller frame, a more healthier body, a stronger body. So there's going to be some emotional things. There's going to be body dysmorphia and all that. And I talked about that in my other video if you want to go check that out. Less obsession. I'm not obsessed with food. Yes, I am obsessed with strength training. I do admit that, but I'm not obsessed with food. Healthier eating, only eating whole foods, like I mentioned. This medication doesn't fix discipline automatically. That's on you, okay? It helps you and it gives you guardrails, but that's on you. You have to want to do the right thing. And by doing the right thing, you're going to get better results. That's how I feel. I move my body. I walk. Like I said, I have a walking pad. I walk every day, at least 1 to 2 miles every day, and I do it after dinner. That's when they say is the best time to go for a walk, is after you eat. For me, it's after dinner. It's more convenient that way. Prioritizing protein, of course, is very important. You definitely need to do that. And the key things I learned through my journey is I want to protect my muscle, right? I want to protect this, what I've worked so hard for. And that's due to strength training. And I'm going to continue strength training for the rest of my life. The other thing was long-term thinking. You have to think about maintenance. What's it going to look like for you? It's gonna come eventually, and you need to have a game plan, right? The biggest change wasn't the weight for me. It was the confidence. I mean, I always had confidence before, but this is confidence in what I can do and what my body can do, right? So there's a difference. Consistency. As I mentioned before, I'm very regimented. I'm very consistent. And I think that's being that way, that got me to my goal, right? Sustainability. You want to be able to enjoy your food and eat the foods that that you like and you enjoy, but also that's going to give you the nutrients that you need. And long-term thinking, right? Thinking long-term. You have to think about your maintenance and what you're going to do and what your next steps are. So if you're on a GLP-1 or thinking about starting a GLP-1, I'd like you to please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Thank you again for joining me, because it's not about losing weight fast. It's about doing it right. For me, it was, at least, that's what I felt was what worked in my journey. And I saw the best results, and that was for me. So I have a question. What has changed the most for you so far through your journey? Please comment below. I thank you again for joining me on this video. Zoe thanks you. And you enjoy the rest of your weekend with your family, and I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.